And it is a lovely day to go racing in California as we come back with the oNiD Hound Club Car Challenge. We're at the beautiful Laguna Seca Raceway in Southern California, and I am happy to be back once again with Aiden. Aiden, how are you doing this afternoon?
My PC has had a rebirth. It is me. I am back. We are back. I had a week hiatus whilst I waited for a certain new computing device to be replaced, but we are back on a Thursday night with the iRacing SimGrid Club Challenge. And what a place to bring it back to Eunice. One of your local circuits, Jarrett, I believe.
It is as far away from local as it can be and still being the same country.
Wonderful. Absolutely glorious. Bit of a quiet evening compared to the start of the season we had. As we recall, we had about 25 cars at one point. 10 cars take to the track this evening, but I'm sure they will give us a good run for the money. Nice little tight twisty circuit here at Laguna Seca will always give us some entertainment. Now, qualifying is a go. We are currently just awaiting for some cars to set some lap time so we can get the timing board all populated. For now, it is just a bit of a waiting game before we see some times pop up on the board. I think the first driver to do so will be very close between Runar Bottleson and Peter Staver, who are both, it is a lone qualifying, so they get the track to themselves for 10 minutes. However, we will just speak. We're going to go for it. We're going to keep on with Bottleson. He'll be just about the first driver to set a fast first lap. He goes through the final turn. I can tell you we could do this instead. That'll give us a good idea.
He makes his way around that final left-hander and it looks to be making a very good time here with a purple first two sectors. And that'll be our first. Oh, excuse me. Peter Staler gets on the board, apparently just ahead of Bolofson's time. But I was saying, Laguna Seca is a fun little twisty track, and there'll be plenty of opportunities for these cars to get piled up on top of each other with the mix of high and low speed corners we got going here.
Will be interesting. That is for sure. Next person to come to the line looks to be Charlie Morgan in that oNiD liveried Mazda MX-5. Goes through the final turn, gets the power down, doesn't use up all the curb. Maybe a bit of time to be found on
Yeah,
the next
taking
lap.
a very tight line there.
So hopefully maybe next lap will be a good lap for him to try and find a bit of time. Comes to the line. It is an invalid lap actually for Charlie, so we'll have another crack at it. For now stays put and in 10th position without a classified time. Ben Holmes, however, gets to the line. Another driver in the oNiD livery going up into P5. Peter Staver, however, is on a lap. Is the next one to finish a lap. And he is going purple second sector. However, third sector is personal best. Bottleson's going quicker overall. So it's a bit of tit for tat at the minute.
Yeah, they're picking parts of the track that appear to be their favorites, and that might have been a little bit too wide of a line for Stather. Get a good bit of runoff on that final corner as he starts making his way down to the start finish line, and we'll see what he does.
137.1, new fastest lap. Bottleson, can he do a 137.6? Jory Scorer gets up into P2 with 137, splitting with Stave and Bottleson fighting at the moment. And Tomlinson comes to the line, finally sets a valid time, bless him, as he goes 4th position, 0.7 of a second down on Peter Stave's time. Only 2 drivers left to set a lap are Charlie Morgan, Dennis Pfeiffer's. Morgan still not yet set a valid lap, and this will be their second attempt, final turn, and as I said last time, didn't use a lot of curb. So he does so that time. Bet comes to the line. What's it going to be? A 138 dead for. That's a good attempt there. We'll have one more crack at it and hopefully see it improve a little bit more. Polina's coming to the final turn as well. Onto the brakes he goes. Gets the car turned in. Power back down.
Good line on the exit.
But it's just enough curb to stay legal. But I think that it might have been a poor lap from him. Sectors don't match up to a really representative time, so he's going to have to go again. So this will be his third and final lap. Adam Benjamin, 9th, having an issue, and it's a big issue for Adam Benjamin.
Oh no.
As he's gone firmly off the track. Let's see how that has happened.
Coming down off of the corkscrew. It didn't even look like he made a move on the brakes at all. Just the tire wall called him and he decided to answer.
Oh, that's him back to the pits and will stay there. Piece of Staver finishes, can't improve. Yuri Scorer comes on, however. This is going to be an improvement. It is, but it's not enough for pole position. Rodriguez, final lap times coming in for qualifying. Pfeiffer's, unfortunately, was unable to set a valid lap time. It's not going to be improving. And Rodriguez goes to 3rd, however, to just see him come to the line. Charlie Morgan on their final attempt needs to find 0.8 of a second just to see if they can go up in the slightest. We shall see.
Very close there on the exit with just a little bit of tire staying on the tarmac.
Indeed, and it is a 138 dead. So an improvement, not enough of an improvement. Any other cars to finish. That was a Ben Holmes, Simonas Raplinas. Ben getting to the line now. The clear is not too far behind. What Ben can do is an improvement in time, but not in position. And the only other car to finish qualifying is Simonas Raplinas comes to the line, and it will be personal best first 3 sectors. But is an improvement in time, just not in position, and to celebrate.
And that is a spin.
And just to celebrate the end of qualifying, decides to put the car in a bin.
Well, I definitely know how that feels to be very happy to be done with the quality session.
Qualifying is done and dusted. We are going to take a brief pause because whilst everyone has set their 3 flying laps, still have time running on the board. Ben Holmes out on circuit still, but is deciding to time is exploratory. We will go to the grid in a very few moments. I'll actually show you the grid in a few moments just to see where things stand in terms of driver position.
As far as Laguna Seca goes, it'll be really interesting to see if iRacing's revised debris system is going to play any sort of factor, as there are a lot of opportunities to drag lots of sand and dirt onto the circuit, along with all the chances that you have to go off here. So, and it can get into some really tricky places.
Can indeed, and we shall see. However, we do just a few more seconds for the qualifying to tick over. Let's decide to go back out on track and actually total the car, which is interesting. Hopefully, you don't do that again.
Yeah,
What a
hopefully
waste
that
of
is
car.
getting it out of the system before the race starts, so to say.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So fingers crossed they won't be doing that come the race. However, we are going to go to the grid in a few seconds' time, and we can show you the 10 drivers that are racing for us with us this evening and where they stand for this penultimate week, season 6. There's with bated.
iRacing officials are having to take their time to get all the T's crossed and I's dotted.
Go now. Go to the grid, and it is Peter Staver on pole, score a second. Third, fourth, Tomlinson fifth, Morgan sixth, him seventh, Inez eighth, Benjamin ninth, Cyphers in 10th. Only 10 drivers tonight, but hopefully we won't be lacking on track action. I'll wait for everyone to go to the grid. So
And with
race.
only 2 seconds separating the front of the grid from the lowest qualified time, I think it'll be a really good showing out here as the lights get ready to go on.
The revs rise, and we are away, and that is green flag.
Taylor appears to get away clean. Bashar has a very good drive and it pulls alongside almost immediately, and they're 3 wide at the back of the field.
Are indeed hip and shoulder, very much at the back of the field. However, Store and Stave are fighting away. Stave gets the inside line, go down to turn 1, can hold it in turn 1. And shows the only driver to the door as we have Bottlesford spinning of his own accord. And he's going to drop down the order.
Clears the track.
Going correct, he does indeed clear the track, thankfully, as everyone can get going past him. No further crunches between the two. As we continue racing for the first time this evening, is going to only time this evening? No, two half-hour races. It's been a while. As we see Joyce leads away. Well, Joyce Scorer is trailing from Staver, and will be looking to regain that position in the background. It is a 3-way fight, however, for 4th, 5th, and 6th, and they are fighting away almost 3 wide. Oh, please trick it out before the corkscrew, guys. And thank God they do. So Polina's taking 4th position from Benjamin as they all follow through, single file through the corkscrew. They live to
Everyone seems to make it clean and are on their way down the hill. Heading down towards the right hook and are looking for some opportunities. Track unfortunately comes very one line once you come out of the corkscrew, but we'll see if anyone's able to be brave on the brakes or make any bold decisions. They fall into the long straight and get into formation to start drafting their way down, as it looks like Rodriguez goes very, very wide and into the dust.
Does indeed. He will continue, however, as he did very briefly.
Rodriguez is sometime having a crisis and finding himself down behind Bolfson. But Rodriguez taking that last corner and not seeming to get the car turned in quite as good as he needed to. Once he gets it back online, he's at least able to escape without having any other incidents there.
Absolutely. So he'll get going once more as we rejoin leaders, as Ben Holmes going very wide, almost losing the car. through turn 4.
Yeah, the benefit of the sort of the hard packed sand that you have out there is you're not going to lose a lot of speed when you go off unless you take an absolute adventure, but it is still very much a loss of time. But they are able to at least keep it going and in the right direction as they make their move up the hill and start running up towards the corkscrew for one final time. Shara looking at the outside to see if he can take an opportunity, but Staylor is staying very defensive going in, and he's very late on the brakes. And they're going to go side by side down the
Oh,
corkscrew, and there's a little bit of contact, and it is Staylor that is the loser in that confrontation. Ben Holmes able to slip by for the trouble, and Staylor gets it going once again without losing too many more positions. But it
got
looks like there's a bit of
damaged.
a shuffle.
Got the meatball
Oh
flag.
yeah, no. Oh, that is unfortunate, and he's causing a bit of a backup as these cars try to get around him,
Did they?
and it forces him wide.
Not going to be pleased with that, is he? As he goes off circuit, will go to the pit lane to get those repairs. It is a quick repair they can use. He should be able to get back into this race fairly quickly once using that pretty much one stop go repair, basically. As we do go back to
And
the
in the midst
fighting.
of all this, Dan Tomlinson puts in the fastest lap of the race so far as he slips up into third position.
Background. Still got drivers fighting away 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th all very close together. As you see Adam Benjamin in that Red Sports special car trying to make a move past that's Pfeiffer's. Pfeiffer's, however, bit of a train here as we aboard the Dutch train with 4 carriages.
Pfeiffer's doing a very good job of keeping that inside line defended until we get here. Apparently, having a very poor exit on that corner. And
Oh.
it looks like Benjamin unfortunately loses and slides down the order. 4 wide heading
Oh, it's
very
contact.
oh, that has gone horribly wrong. And subsequent crashes up the field as well. There are going to be a number of incidents coming out of that one. Looks
Pfeiffer's
like
off.
everyone's able to at least get rolling once again. Here, there may have been a few toes there as well as their cars have clearly disappeared from the track.
See what happened. And, maybe go to the blimp and get a better view. They all go 4 wide into that corner. One goes off, and Bottleton actually goes very wide. And actually, that camera angle doesn't do it justice, does it? Try to see what
And
happened.
fortunately, that tree line doesn't do us any favors.
No, it doesn't at all, does it? Life is back to Rodriguez also in the pits as well. I think he's out there for a very long while. That is a long stop, especially for. Oh, and that was a tow, actually, wasn't it? So we'll see Pfeiffer's come back to the circuit in a very short moment. He's managed to get back to the pits. It'll be a quick repair, so we'll stop the car, and the car will be magically repaired. And get going once more. He's going to take a service.
Oh, he had his tires ticked.
Uh,
That is a hard mistake to make. But back up at the front, Shore leads Holmes around once again.
does working well on these two to pull away from E3. Dan Tomlinson 4.8 seconds adrift as it stands, keeping him in touch, but not enough to keep Raplinas off his tail because he's not too far behind for P3. So this is a battle forming as both drivers getting a bit more closer to each other, and Raplinas looking to capitalise potential podium position here.
Raplina's looking for some ground. Tomlinson seeming to not have the most pace in that third sector of the track. Raplina is going to get a long draft coming down here. Let's see what he decides to do going into the hairpin. Not quite able to find any room to go yet, but there's another corner coming up. Raplina's be able to stay on that back bumper. It looks like Tomlinson gets a bit of a run. Raplina's not having the cleanest time through the hairpin. Tomlinson losing ground.
trying to get him back in. Ben Holmes is also trying to push to get off track very briefly. As you can see, Pipers and Rodriguez sadly are back out on circuit, but are now showing as lap cars to the leaders, as identified by their blue names. Timing tower on the left.
Yeah, the decision to attempt to do a four-wide battle on the uphill was definitely a bold one, but it did not pay off for anyone involved. Charlie Morgan is going to continue leading, hunting down Benjamin on the uphill as they head into the corkscrew. Appears that Morgan takes a very wide line coming through, deciding better of trying to make a move from that far back into such a tight
Ooh.
area. Benjamin going very wide there, looking for some ground on the inside, but nothing is picking up.
No, not yet. It's got some racing to try and get back past Benjamin. They were trained for positions earlier on in the race. However, they are just bundling along for now, 6th and 5th. And the gap between Ben Holmes and Joey Scorer has opened because Ben, if I'm reading my timing app correctly, had a bit of a whoopsie as he goes off track. Let's see what happens. Not much enough, but enough to slow him down. He's quite significantly back now, almost by about 1 second or so. I wonder if there was a bigger mistake that he's made that we didn't quite see, unfortunately. But now a bit of a way off that lead, almost 2 seconds. I know. Got a couple
We
now, but
join back on.
we'll go on. Carry on.
Oh yeah, so we're joining back on Charlie Morgan, trying to make a move on Adam Benjamin. But up ahead, we do have Raplinas trying to catch up to Dan Thomason as well. Fights starting to redevelop as everyone's recovering from the previous incidents.
Yep, absolutely. As been touched. It's about 0.5 a second. It fluctuates between 0.5 0.7 at the moment as he tries to get back onto the podium position. As I say that, Morgan quite close to Benjamin again as they go through the final sector, and so it goes very wide. Takes a little bit too much speed through that penultimate right-hander. Both come to
Charlie
a
Morgan once again going to have the draft.
not going to be enough. No. Still a way away is
Much.
still a way away is Charlie from Benjamin, but we'll keep an eye on that. And like the battle, oh, Charlie, stop going wide. Don't rack up those instant points. What are you doing?
Yeah, Charlie is starting to get really aggressive, trying to find anything he can to catch up to Benjamin, and it is going to cost him if he lets those incident points continue to stack up like that.
The Pifers has fortunately had another off track. Let's see what's happened to him. Okay,
Oh, that inside curb. It is an absolute killer, and couldn't get it back under control. Locks up the wheels and goes right into that wall.
That's unfortunately so, and that's going to be reset back to the pits as well. So that's even bad to worse. So here another toe, which is going to see pretty much another nail in the coffin. The toes back to pit lane.
And with how hard he hit that wall, I do not think that is going to be a short stop.
Now he's used his quick repair already, and will he be sitting there for the majority of the rest of the race, unfortunately. This is now a run for Charlie. Outside line for the final turn. Gets past under brakes. However, Adam says, no, you're not going to come past that easy. Has a massive wiggle on the rear end. Does Adam on acceleration, but is able to pull away and get the gap done and dusted.
Yeah, but Charlie had the better line coming through there, so has good speed going down that long straight. Charlie's going to take another look at the outside as they go into the Andretti hairpin. And it is not going to be another attempt for him on this one, but there are two more hard turns coming up where Charlie's going to have a chance to try to either make a move or put Benjamin off his game.
It's time inside
Charlie going to
line.
the inside.
Oh, give each other space for the love of God. Don't collect yourselves there.
They do good to keep the paint on each other's cars, and they're going towards, once again, Charlie letting it
Over
have the
under.
position, but
Oh,
Charlie has the line, and Charlie gets the move done on Benjamin.
cheeky over under. Season get past Benjamin for position, and because of that,
Oh
Benjamin runs
no.
completely wide. Just about keeps it out of the barrier.
Yeah, Benjamin gets a big taste of the
Oh no,
sausage
he's hit
curb
the
on that
barrier.
back left tire.
No, he hit the barrier. He's got a meatball.
And there it is. Benjamin picks up the meatball flag, unfortunately. Oh, that's an even worse one.
I'm not sure if that just knocked his steering, but we'll go to a replay and tell you what we'll.
Yeah, he looks to try to take a very aggressive line, but catches that sausage curb. Isn't able to keep it out.
Or did the sausage curb kill him?
It's hard to say. That sausage curb can break the back suspension of the car, because how he caught it was he
Alexa put it into the wall in frustration.
yeah, unfortunately that's how it broke down. So 2 cars in for long repairs.
Indeed, so they'll stay in the pit lane for a mandatory tow and repairs. However, it is somewhat quiet now with our remaining 8 drivers out on circuit. Rodriguez is back on the lead lap from what we can see, but
Everybody else has picked up their own section of track to run on.
just a bit of waiting for now. We'll recap and just show you a couple of the bigger incidents. We'll go to the green flag just to review what happened at the race start. As we'll just quickly rewatch that just to remind folks of how that all happened. Jerry Scorer managed to get the jump on start initially as they all start to go down to the first turn. Almost for a widen back 12 from some.
Yeah, these cars will definitely give you the opportunity with a strong start to pull up alongside someone very quickly, and getting the chance to go 4 wide is not a problem. And I think we even missed it. That was not it was that was Bottleson, but I think it was Replina's in the background as well in the Momo.
Was indeed. No, not Replina's. That was. I'm not sure who that was.
Rodriguez, yes. Yeah, Rodriguez seemed to also get turned around in that initial incident.
Oh, tap.
Oh, yeah, he got tapped from the inside.
Yeah, that'll do it. The Momo Tyres driver, unfortunately, just a bit of a passenger for that first turn, first lap incident. Now the drivers just get on with their race, halfway through, with another quarter of an hour to go, or 20 laps, whatever comes first. Then
As
once more.
As we take across the halfway mark, Shore continues to lead Ben Holmes by an easy near 7 seconds. I believe Ben Holmes had been having a number of issues over driving the car and finding himself going off just a bit too much.
So slightly unfortunate. We'll stick with this race and see what happens as people are getting closer to one another again, and you can see that the Replines is getting onto the back of Tomlinson once more for position.
Yeah, it sure is having us a textbook drive around this circuit and making it look very easy. Replines is finding pace to catch up to the back bumper of Tomlinson, as we said just a bit ago. Gonna get a good bit of draft, and it looks like he also has the drive out of the corner as the gap starts to tick down very quickly. It's gonna be a matter of corners before Replines looks to find any weaknesses in Dan Tomlinson's drive and find himself a position on the podium.
As you see in the bottom right, I've got the right graphics up. A time delta, the gap has fluctuated the past few laps. Currently, last lap around was at 0.8 of a second. Lap 5 was 1.2 seconds was the biggest gap. And it is engine in between the two drivers. They slug it out at this point for the lap time. So we see that Adam Benjamin, and that was a crash that we've already seen, but Ben Holmes went off the circuit, has enabled the jury score just to figure out that gap a little bit more. Let's just see what's happened to Ben. Do a replay. Done that a few times now, Ben. Just need to be a little bit more careful. Through that double right-hander, so you'll need to watch those instant points before he gets a drive-through. I believe it is relatively okay at the moment. But they'll be racking up. He needs to just keep an eye on it. However, I will say, most notably, it is becoming a second, third and fourth position battle as it stands, with Ben Holmes now dropping very much off the tail of Jury Scorer for position, and shortly be potentially two oNiD drivers fighting out for position. I think we may have lost Jarrett there for a brief moment. We'll keep on with this battle for second position as Tomlinson very much closing now within half a second. We'll be thinking, well, he's a fellow oNiD driver, but I want to get past. Maybe some polite discussions in the Discord server potentially. Well, I hope there's discussions, but not of the arranged driver swap kind. I'm hoping they're saying, oh, I'm going to fight you, I can't wait to start fighting you, and indeed I'm going to start fighting because Ben has got an atrocious run out of a fast left hand at the inside line for Dan Tomlinson. Can't make it work as of yet. However, continue down through I don't know what the section of that track is called. I had a complete blank. Corkscrew. How for the corkscrew? Through the final sector. It's going to be not close enough for a move into the final turn. However, it's definitely now becoming a three-way battle for the podium position. Jury scorer just in your screens as we went into the exit of the final turn for these three drivers. Got an ample lead over these guys for the lead of the race, and it'll be pretty much his race to lose, so he needs to be careful, but keep it on track. Don't accumulate instantly. It's his very much looking at his race to win. Tomlinson, massive snap of oversteer mid-corner as he goes through the Andretti hairpin. Down through to turn 3. Just to wait to see if there is going to be a move going up into 4, 5 or 6. Garrett, are you with me? Potentially not, as our American colleague may be having a few technical issues as we now look into the latter part of the lap with just over 9 minutes ago. Scorer leads away by 9 seconds. It's Tomlinson, Rapinez, Morgan. Scorer, Holmes. I'm correct. It's a move from the inside from Tomlinson, giving each other space to the two oNiD drivers. As Ben Holmes takes a position, Tomlinson concedes now will be immediately under threat from Rapinez for third position. Through they go, and trying to keep it all neat and tidy. Tomlinson doesn't want to lose another place, and Ben Holmes is thinking, well, I want to start pulling away now. Hope for best. Try and leave these two behind me fighting, and let them squabble, as that's not going to help his cause. It's Ben, he's going very wide through the final turn. Gets a big swap run, compromises Dan Tomlinson, who's now got Rapinez under threat, and about to go 3 wide almost. Down into turn 1, I hope they're not going to go 3 wide. As I think they all kind of figure out where they need to be. Ben Holmes on the outside. Tomlinson gets the move done on the inside. And that is move retaken. However, still side by side going into turn 3. Two oNiD drivers give each other space going into the right-hander. The golden wheeled Ben Holmes takes the lead of this battle. Tomlinson with the white wheels on the oNiD car in second. Car 95 Rapinez having front row seats to this battle. Still fight on Tomlinson holding on to Ben Holmes actually, but he's losing some time going through the middle sector. They go up to the top of the hill for, it's another lap of fighting. Goes wide, does Dan Tomlinson. Be careful not to get dragged out onto the kitty litter. Really does able to keep it on the circuit. Down through the corkscrew on the brakes. Both these cars go. That's a weird outside line there for Tomlinson. They were just trying to avoid Ben Holmes a little bit there and not going to the back of him. As that now brings the cleaners back into contention. And now staying put. Gaps now evening out once more. Trading times these guys are, and I'm sure they're having the best fight of their lives and absolutely loving it. However, with only about 6.5 minutes to go, opportunities will be starting to become limited for these guys. Through the Andretti hairpin, they go forward, and other time of asking, Ben Holmes keeping that speed relatively defensive, but right, and retake the position once more in the next couple of corners.
It's starting to become a very interesting fight for the last 2 steps on the podium.
Indeed it is. And thank goodness my I wonder where he went. As as we are following this battle for the last 6 minutes, is going to be the battle that only battle we have, unfortunately, with this very limited grid of cars. Hopefully all 10 drivers will come back out once more for race 2, where we go back underway once more. I believe
These two go very wide.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe race 2 actually will be a full reverse grid time of the...
It will be.
So Pipers will start on pole, Adam Benjamin second. However, the battle's still ongoing for who's going to be at the back of the grid, essentially, with this reverse grid. This is what fighting is 9th and 8th and 7th place, respectively, from Tomlinson, Holmes, and Polinas for the reverse grid.
And Tomlinson and Holmes did the very impressive job of going side by side down the corkscrew and keeping it tidy the whole way. Going all 4 wheels off, though, in that last corner, and it'll may come down to who's carrying the fewest incident points if they keep driving this hard.
Yes, they need to be careful so they don't get a drive-through or some form of a penalty for getting too many incident points. But now they are just about keeping everything good.
Seem to be willing to be just a little patient as they go through these last few corners.
Yeah. Ben Holmes actually drops off a little bit there from Dan Tomlin's. Really gets it back. Tomlinson actually going a little bit wide. Hasn't necessarily hurt him though. He actually is able to eke out a little bit more of a gap. Charlie Morgan has also had a bit of a adventure. He's off circuit, but is able to rejoin. We see nice Pipers rejoin this for his calamitous race. He'll rejoin and actually might get a position up on Adam Benjamin, which would be a bit of a consolation prize. It won't put him on pole for race 2, but will be starting him second if he can unlap himself from Adam.
Ben Holmes is slowly falling back off of Tomlinson's back bumper, but Rapinas is not giving Ben any room to consider anything else.
At the moment, no, but we will just eking out everything they can from these cars. No aero, just an engine, a chassis and 4 tyres is all the grip they're going to get. So anything that they can get out of these cars in terms of a bit more grip or a bit more aerodynamic advantage and the slipstream as well, be of benefit.
Yeah, they're strong little slipstream racers when they get the opportunity.
Just a quick
And
mention.
Benjamin gets, oh, sorry, it looked like Benjamin was out the pit, but it was just Pfeiffer's getting his lap back off of
Yes.
Benjamin.
It's a little note that Pivers gets his lap back and goes up into ninth position. Start in second position. Adam Benjamin secured that pole position start for race 2.
In another trip down the 7-story drop of the corkscrew, go Tomlinson, Holmes, and Raplinas.
Is it that much?
It is much taller in person than you imagine it is. Or I might also be just talking about my entire backside. I think I remember hearing it 7 stories.
Sorry, I completely misheard you there. You this battle. I'm not sure we just lost Garrett there a little bit, but
Am I coming through all right now?
oh, you are now. That's fine. Sorry, apologies.
Right. No, great. No, you're fine. Might have been technical difficulties on my part.
As Ben Holmes still trying to chase Sam Tomlinson, but however, that gap has now extended to a comfortable margin. There's only about a lap and a bit to go, depending on where the leader is. This will be the penultimate lap as Stora is coming up to the corkscrew as we speak, and this will be the penultimate lap as we go to the line. It will be the final lap. Just about 1.25 or tours of the circuit, or jury can say that he's a race winner for the first race this evening. Looks like Morgan got a slow down for track limits, so he'll need to serve that quickly. That's not going to help, but we'll hopefully keep him in that 5th position. Raplinas is on the tail of Hound. You can see the white flags now being waved, signifying the final lap of this race.
It appears that as long as Tomlinson is able to keep his nose clean, he will be able to hold on to that 2nd position at the end of this race. But Ben Holmes is going to have to do some work to keep Raplinas from replacing him at that final step on the podium.
Absolutely. Fighting for his worth. Wanted to keep it at oNiD 1, 2, 3. Not that I'm biased or anything.
So as Ben Holmes keeps driving, he seems to be staying on his line, and Raplinas takes a very wide line, all 4 wheels off and into the dirt. But it takes a little bit of pressure off of Holmes. Holmes being able to stick to the main line, and not yet having to go defensive to look after Raplinas. But Raplinas is going to have to start getting very creative with the last few turns that he has here.
Jury's score has got slow down. Not that it's going to matter to him too much. He'll get that served before the final turn. He's got plenty of a gap to do so. He comes to the final turn now. You'll need to clear that stuff. Otherwise you will get a penalty. Really does. One final turn for Jory as he goes to the checkered flag. It will be race win for race 1 here this evening. A very dominant display indeed, with now all eyes turn to the battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. And Tomlinson's definitely got the 2nd position. Holmes, however, is able to hold off Raplinas for 3rd. Raplinas comes across the line in 4th. Morgan Bottleson. The next 2 drivers see the line and race to forget for Bottleson. Hopefully we'll see him go back up the order after being turned around on the 1st turn. Inadvertently, I am sure. But a race maybe to forget.
Yeah, Bottleson able to recover at least to the 4th position after a very long race. And it looks like Rodriguez has a drive-through penalty after everything.
Does indeed,
so
unfortunately.
that'll be a penalty tacked on at the end of to his finishing distance. But I do not believe it's going to be 8 laps worth, so he should be safe in his 8th position.
Yep. Pfeiffer's has already seen a checkered flag being 8 laps down.
But as we draw this round to a close, well, as we draw this race to a close, I did do a quick check. It is a oh my god, as we're in America, I'll keep it in the freedom units. It is a 59-foot drop, so it's closer to 6 stories than 7 stories, but it is still quite a long way down over a very short section of road.
America. Anyway, as
Anything before metric.
anything before metric. Right, let's just review the results. Each scorer takes the win. Emerson to Holmes, Linez to Morgan, the Bottleson Staver, Rodriguez Pifers. Oh, flap. He will start on pole though because he is still within the session, so he's allowed his car to stay in pits to do his mandatory repairs, but unfortunately was unable to get back out on circuit. Only having driven about half the race, will still classify as a P10 finisher. Will be enough to take pole position. Race number 2.
Yeah, it is really unfortunate with how hard he slammed that wall. He likely did a fair bit of engine damage, and that was going to be quite a vacation in the pits to get himself back onto the road.
A mighty shame, but no doubt they'll go back to the grid for race 2. We are just in a very brief warm-up session. Drivers get, I believe, 5 minutes of warm-up. Second race. Not much to discuss, unfortunately, just purely because of the 10 drivers, but it was a shame to see the incidents for Pifers and Benjamin. Both cars, but will hopefully be very successful, at least more successful, race 2.
Yeah, back the back markers on, well, I guess not the back markers, but the bottom half of the grid did definitely attempt some bold moves, and that ended up costing quite a few people in this round. So we will see how they're able to hold it all together when they lead us around for the second race this evening.
Time will tell. Slowly getting, cars deciding to take to the grid, unfortunately. There's nothing to really show you, apart from the fact that we are just waiting for the warm-up session to just breeze on by.
Yeah, folks may be taking a chance to cool down after the events of that past round. While up at the front, the gap did open up quite a bit. There was still a fair bit of fighting at the beginning of the race, and Laguna Seca can be quite a tiring circuit to have to wheel around for even just 30 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, my question to you now would be, with happened race win story, what would you do if you're starting the back of the grid? You know all the cars ahead of you are pretty much slower than yourself.
It is patience.
Patience.
Yeah, it is
Name of the
it's
game.
very hard to say like you're gonna like to hang out and wait for opportunities to open up for you, but with the type of circuit that Laguna Seca is, uh taking any wild risk can hurt you very badly, as we saw during that first race. You don't want to end up in any positions where you're more than too wide. Too wide is manageable at most of the corners here, but 3 to 4, it gets very dicey very quickly.
Absolutely keep an eye on things as the grid is being formed. That caught me out by surprise a little bit, as we don't have quite enough time to go over the grid because the cars are now on circuit. But I can tell it's Adam Benjamin and Pifers on the front row.
And lights are out.
Oh, indeed, and we go racing for the second time of asking this evening. Benjamin leads the field away from Pifers to Rodriguez. Squire is already getting past Dan Tomlinson in the background as they all try to squabble for position.
Pretty tidy so far.
Here they are.
Second row decides to go 3 wide immediately.
Oh, that he does it.
We make it through cleaner than we did on the first run.
Absolutely.
Holmes
So,
insurers seem to hold
oh,
their
never
fire
mind.
right, and
Pipers is
spoke too
round.
soon,
Oh,
and that is looking like that's gonna be a looks like he gets away without having to pick up a meatball flag. I thought it was a bit of a harder slap into the wall, but Pfeiffer's is rolling away successfully.
you'll get going once more. Contact between Benjamin and Rodriguez going into that left hander. A bit of argy-bargy, elbows out, fighting between the two. As Staver now drops, was challenging for third, fighting for third between him and Rodriguez.
Benjamin is able to continue holding on to that first position, stay there acting as the cork in the bottle. Uh, Rodriguez looking for an opportunity on the inside, but is going to give it up as Taylor goes very brave onto the brakes down into the corkscrew. A little too wide in the background, but not a whole lot of movement so far. Everyone kind of falling into line with a
Oh,
couple offs. Tomlinson and Schur not quite able to make it through there cleanly.
all the only drivers clumped up at the back. White, silver, red, and gold wheels to differentiate them just about. As that is a spinner, that's Rodriguez.
Yeah, Rodriguez looks like he may have gotten the power down a little too soon coming out of that final hairpin.
Out to find out.
Unless I spoke too soon.
But no, we'll go to the replay, see what happens. Is this going to be power too much right foot? Yep, it is.
Yep. Yeah, it's really easy, especially on these early laps when the tires aren't fully up to temperature to step out just a little too wide.
It's been another instant that we've missed, unfortunately, as you go to that went to that replay. Raplina is getting involved as well. Was fighting with Bottleson. This was for fourth
Ballston is
position.
hot on Raplina's bumper. Oh, it just looks like Raplina's also had another issue, and I couldn't tell if
That was Dan Tomlinson.
yeah, if Tomlinson just kind of got loose on his own as well.
I think he did. Let's see what happened. Go to a replay here. Tomlinson on the power goes, yoop, in sympathy of Raplina's spin. He does the same thing.
Yeah, just taking advantage of the pit lane exit to have a quicker access to tarmac to get back up to speed.
Absolutely. So it is at the moment, after about 3 or so minutes after racing, it is first, second, and third, breaking away from Jory scoring in fourth, who is trying to fight their way back up the field as well to try and, from his race to win last time out, it is Steven Benjamin leading the way of the Team Red Sport International. However, Steven makes a move up the inside of Benjamin, but may have left him compromised as Bottleson, the independent driver, looking to get up the inside into turn one, has a run. Fastest lap of anyone for Bottleson in these early stages of the race, 137.5. On the brakes for
Who's
the
gonna be
inside
brave
line.
on the brakes?
It is
Oh, and
on.
unfortunately, it looks like not Ballison, excuse me, Benjamin lost it in the corner as well, or stay there. I get the two cars confused, but Benjamin currently follows Ballison through the next set of corners. As Stather falls back in line into that third position.
Really does.
And the pack of oNiD cars has made their way up the field quite a bit. Jory leads the pack up. Our former front runner looking to see if he can reestablish himself at the top of the grid.
The rest of the field aren't too far behind from Dennis Pfeiffer's was able to start catching up a little bit as all the cars start to go a little bit wide through that fast left-hander, as Morgan actually is on a fighting with Jory score on his contact between the two.
They're at least able to keep going in all the right directions as Shore continues to lead Morgan and Holmes.
So let's just see how that all unfolded. We'll go to a bit of a better replay. We follow Jory on the inside, and it's definitely a clatter of doors.
Yeah, the track comes together. It gets narrow for just a little bit right before you go up into the left-hander to start off the corkscrew. And it's really easy to get yourself caught out in a bad position as two don't go into one. And Jory leads Morgan.
As indeed, and it continues, they're still fighting away. for
I'm sorry, I
position.
got the battle we're looking at. It's Holmes chasing Morgan into the set here as Jory kind of runs off into the distance, trying to find himself onto the back bumper of Benjamin up ahead.
Still trying to find a better time at the very least. However, this squad getting away with it a little bit and having a bit of a top four race with fifth and sixth and everyone else behind. The lead is still going at it, however. Bottleston still holding the lead from Steve and then Benjamin. All remain status quo.
Yeah, folks are seeming to kind of settle into into pace and trying to just eke into wherever they can find so they can sell in for the long run.
And able to do so. Got to be careful just to be sure not going to compromise themselves. Like Bottleston, maybe just done a little bit there. Slow out the corner and Staver. Staver's going to move. Oh, in the background, that's more. That's Holmes. Holmes having a spin.
Holmes uh, gets it back, but is going to continue to fall positions. Rodriguez picks up one more off of him.
It does. Let's go to a replay, see how that one unfolded. I have a feeling that was him, himself, and them. Only themselves to blame. Right foot, yep.
At the corner doesn't even look particularly dirty or anything. It just seems that people are getting a little agitated coming out of that final corner, trying to get every bit of speed they can for that long run.
Absolutely. I'll try to fight through, but not making inroads that we would have expected immediately. Scorer is 1.2 seconds off Benjamin, Benjamin's actually 1.2 seconds off this lead battle. The two leaders are now going to start fighting away. Adam Benjamin's been dropped a little bit as Botson and Staver now fight for P1 outside life. Staver can't make it work with the inside line.
Yes, Balson going very bold on the brakes there, getting a very nice run down the hill. Gonna keep leading Stather around for now. Stather making a dive to the inside, but nothing's gonna happen as
brave.
Balson keeps the speed up going through there.
That's a risky move. He's trying to do anything and everything he can, try and get that position. Adam is starting to close the gap back up a little bit. Charlie Morgan on the tail is scorer as well in fourth, who's seemingly can't get close to this battle at this moment in time. He's still got another 22 minutes to try and get back up to the leaders, but for now it is just remaining the status quo. Morgan does go the fastest lap, 137.1, as the leaders continue to fight. Bottleson inside line hugs the inside like his drunken best friend at a nightclub in the hopes they can find the exit door. However, that lead battle and that lead position is very well defended and will keep on holding it for now.
Yes, Stather is staying glued on that back bumper and is not letting go.
You know, we'll dive up to the inside for Staver, forces the issue. That little bit later on the brakes.
Very brave on Stather there, just keeping his nose in all the way until he forced Balson to give him the space. And Stather has the run. Balson seems shaken on these last few corners, and Stather opens the gap up bit by bit. We'll see if Balson lets this stand. He has a number of corners left in this lap to try to make something else happen. But Benjamin is seeing, Benjamin is seeing the weakness and trying to see if he can capitalize as well. But he has his own issues as Shore and Morgan are breathing right down his neck.
Yeah, indeed. And Shore now looking at this as maybe, as I say that, Benjamin goes very wide.
And he recovers fast enough so he doesn't lose the space and forces Shore to check up, but Shore is the fastest man on the track from the last race, and he is not going to be denied, and he's going to keep running down Benjamin for the long straight as they get set up for the Andretti hairpin.
He did well.
Shore happy to hold on to the position for now, but Benjamin not exactly getting a barn burner of a run out. And I can't tell. It looks like Shore is also starting to have to worry about defending from Charlie Morgan on his back bumper. Not Charlie not satisfied and just letting Shore have all the fun to himself.
Oh, exactly. And up on the lead battle as well. It's very close between Stave and Bolson. Bolson hasn't let this go. However, Adam feels like he has to go defensive.
And taking that inside line to cover off of Shore from trying to make any moves. Shore looks like he's faking to the inside to force the issue for Benjamin. Fast left-hander. They're going to all stay in line, keeping all the wheels on the pavement this time. But Benjamin takes his place in the middle of the track. Shore swings out wide to the outside, but is not able to make it happen before the corkscrew, as Benjamin has to stay down to the inside.
He does, and will stay in position for now, does Adam. But your only driver's starting to squabble now, maybe thinking, oh, come on now, I want to get past you. There's Morgan to Scorer. Let me have a crack at
Morgan wanting his
position.
own turn.
Yeah. Well, that might force the issue. Actually, Adam goes very wide. Rodriguez has gone back to the pits. He's had a crash. We'll go back to him in a few moments to see what happened with him, as he is going to take his quick repair and immediately to pits again to rejoin the race. However, he will be a lap down as the fighting continues. Benjamin defending for Scorer and Morgan, and in turn, Morgan trying to get past Scorer as Scorer is trying to get past Benjamin.
And all the fighting in these positions is not doing any favors on their overall pace to the two leaders.
Gap is now 2.4 seconds. This is hurting big time, but it's a race and it's going to cause. That's a dive to the inside. No, Scorer thinks better of it. That's compromised him to Charlie Morgan, and Morgan's on the inside line up into the fast left-hander.
Yeah, it looked like it was a double shot at an over/under as Shore tried to pull Benjamin to cover from the over/under, and Morgan was there to actually take advantage of it.
Well, let's see what happened very briefly. What to do? Have a bit of a pause in the battles. See what happened to Rodriguez. Oh, goes off on the outside, turns the car in, has a spin. And to the pits. He did return to the pit lane and use a quick repair. I can tell you, he's now back out on circuit, I do believe. Bigger issue there for Rodriguez. I'm not entirely sure as to what exactly happened. Rodriguez did go off track again. I wonder if this was what was caused. Going through the hairpin, inside turn, and then into the wall. That's what would caused it. And then that caused him to go back to the pits, and he is out. He stayed put. There's Morgan has this. Oh, what's he doing? As he just jumped back to the action. Did just miss that. I am going to do a quick cheeky rewind. Purely because broadcaster. See what happened there to Charlie. I think he just went deep into the corner. He was following.
It looks like he just set wheels on. Oh no, just lost the back end going in and saved it instead of spinning. Cost him a little over 2 seconds and puts him right into the grasp of Raplina's. And up ahead, it is side by side. Oh, that is very wide for Benjamin.
It is, and there's a spinning car in the background, Charlie Morgan as well. That was contact between Scorer and Benjamin going into the corner. We'll get a replay of that for sure, as they end up alongside. Let's go for a bit of a more favourable television angle. Inside,
yeah, it looks like it was same corner, 2 contacts, but one oNiD car won and one oNiD car lost.
Yeah, we'll see what happened with Charlie Morgan, as I have a feeling that was self-inflicted. Too much curb.
Unfortunately, yeah, that internal sausage curb has been a killer, but Charlie unfortunately is able to keep it out of the wall there. That corner has claimed a number of cars this weekend. Not this weekend, excuse me, tonight.
Absolutely. A quarter of an hour to go. This has shaken up the order a little bit. Spread things out as Raplina's is closing on Benjamin, and Morgan also onto Hound. Adam actually having a bit of a shocker of a recovery after that collision going into that fast left hand and sawing round wide. No meatball flag. Obviously no damage to the steering wheel or any of the wheels on the car. That's left him vulnerable to Rapinas now charging back through the field as well.
Did you think we would be halfway through this race and see Shore still working his way up to the lead? It looks like he had quite a bit more of a fight to get into this position than we were expecting, but it does seem that his patience has paid off. He's not set a foot wrong so far today, and has been able to steadily eke his way up here when other drivers have been pushing harder, have been charged more for their efforts.
Yep, absolutely. So, you know how that whole falls out. Dan Tomlinson in the background trying to get past Rapinas now, as he's also too recovering from a bit of a horrid race this evening. He's on the outside line for this next left-hander going downhill as Rapinas. Ooh, the inside! Backs out of it.
Take the inside line to reduce speed majorly to avoid the incident. Morgan is able to hold on and slide himself up into into 8th position, but now Rapinas is going to have the wide run, so we'll see if he's able to hold better speed going down the straight, right on the back bumper with the draft.
Follow Thomas at 5th, Rapinas 6th. Inside line is defended. On the brakes goes Dan Tomlinson to defend from Rapinas as the move not done, holds position. However, he is on a slower run out return, but Rapinas can't capitalise. In the background, Morgan is getting close to Ben Holmes for position as well. They are fighting for essentially bragging rights at this point, down in 8th and 9th. Sorry, 8th and 7th, should I say, with Pfeiffer's unfortunately all the way down in 9th position after having another torrid race where he's been chucked around a little bit, let's say. Maybe not purely of his own accord. Tucking into that, through that fast left-hander. We've seen a couple of oNiD drivers caught out with the sausage curb. Might have a run down through to the corkscrew. Sticks in the slipstream, however, the inside line is somewhat defended by Ben. Compromises him a little bit going down through the corkscrew. Takes up a lot of curb, chucks up a lot of sand as well. And will overhold position very much offline though through that corkscrew and left himself somewhat vulnerable. He's still quite vulnerable actually, Ben Holmes, as Morgan tries to tee off a move potentially into the final turn. Thinks better of it on the brakes they go. Almost. I think Charlie misjudged the braking there. Had to go wide in avoidance of Ben Holmes slowing down in front of him. And that's going to cost him some time. The gap now back up to around about 1 second.
Yeah, that is a scary incident there. Luckily they kept it clean and didn't exactly mark up on I can't say it, crap. Didn't run into each other. I was trying to make a cheeky euphemism, but it absolutely just got stuck.
Oh dear. That's fine. As they do continue, however, all in one piece, albeit as Ben Holmes goes very wide through turn 3. Gonna allow Charlie to close up that little bit more. Not enough yet, but battle is falling 4th, 5th and 6th, as Adam Benjamin, after being in the lead of this race, is now under threat from Tomlinson and Rapinas for position. Nice little three-way battle. Scorer, however, not really closing the position up to the top two drivers. 3.4 seconds is a gap, and that's where it's been. He's actually got a slowdown, he's got a slowdown penalty for good measure as jury, so he'll have to serve that pretty quickly to clear any time that iRacing has deemed he gains an advantage from. And that little yellow flag should clear, should I say, very shortly. Otherwise, it will be a drive-through penalty, and he definitely won't want that after fighting through the field. Battle continues here, but Adam Benjamin looking to defend from Tomlinson. And Tomlinson's actually got a run coming out the final turn. Immediately goes defensive, does add an outside line, or Tomlinson will try and make that work the Andretti chicane. I'm not sure it's going to quite make it. He might try going for an over-under. Actually squeezes Adam to the inside. There's just about a car width there for Adam to place the car. Being very much put under pressure here by the oNiD driver. Inside line for turn 3, not going to work there. Clip on the sausage curve for both drivers that shoves them wide. That's put Rapinas back into contention as well. Now filling up the ring wheels with Dan Tomlinson for good measure. And as he tries to seek to regain some positions off these two fighting up ahead of him. Up into the uphill part of the circuit now. Blind left-hander coming up as they make their way up the hill to go and meet the corkscrew. Rapalina's getting past Tomlinson actually in the background, side by side as they go through that fast right-hander. They give each other space. The camera angle didn't quite do us justice there. That was a very late move and pulled out of the slipstream Rapalina's. And got a really good run out of that going up the hill. And maybe caught Tomlinson off guard there. Definitely caught me off guard as the cameras didn't quite pan around to it. But we'll look to take 5th position from Dan, hunt down Adam Benjamin, but actually allowing Adam to get back ahead. However, outside line for Tomlinson, actually becoming the inside line, is able to keep a nose in. On the brakes they go. They both turn in, somehow figure it out. Rapalina's runs wide, and that's the move done by Tomlinson. Rapalina's tucks back into the slipstream pretty instantaneously, as Tomlinson will now have to defend that move, potentially coming back from Rapalina's. Doesn't elect to do so, actually. I can hear a roaring engine. That's Yuri having an issue. It is. He's had a spin. One in turn 1, and had to use the pit exit road to re-enter the circuit. And that is a mistake, an unusual mistake from Yuri Squirrel. It's cost him time to the lead. But most notably, Adam Benjamin's right on his tunnel for 3rd position. Outside lines for Adam now, and how his fortunes have immediately changed in a matter of half a lap. Tried to look around the outside of Jory, but can't make it work. I'm just going to jump to a replay quickly, just to see how that all unfolded for Jory as he goes down into turn 1. Onto the brakes he goes. We just caught napping in the head, maybe caught a little bit the outside line, unsettled the car. And then it goes all the way around, opposite lock to try and save it. You can't save it. Will be able to rejoin the track, and indeed did rejoin the track from the pit lane. So that's put a new perspective on this race. It's now going to be a 4-way battle, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th, with Jory Squirrel now looking to try and get a back away. Adam going wide, along with Dan Thomas in the background, putting 2 wheels on the sand. The car's decided to have a bit of a wiggle as Adam now looks to be under threat from Dan Tomlinson. They now go down into turn 1. Benjamin goes half defensive, realises Tomlinson's there, but Tomlinson in his defense doesn't really make a move. Body inside, stays pit, maybe just follows Adam through. Go through the middle sector in the background. Morgan getting close to Ben Holmes for 7th position as well. So they're going to fight for the last 6 or so minutes of this race this evening. As Benjamin goes very wide, has a massive oversteer mode, is able to save the car, almost pins it into the side of Dan Tomlinson on rejoin. Tomlinson will have the outside line for that left-hander. Go uphill, the inside line now as Adam's been able to hold the car in position as they go through the fast left-hander. A lot of curb on the inside for Adam. That's going to kill his momentum, and that should be move done. Or Dan Tomlinson and Rapalina's are now going to try and capitalise as well. Looks to try and make a move along the outside of the hairpin, or the corkscrew, should I say. Outside would come the inside if he can hold it. He can't. Goes down through the corkscrew. Lots of inside curb there for Rapalina's, and Adam lives to fight another day. Stays in 5th position. Will be able to fight, hopefully, to try and get that 4th place back. However, that gap is now slowly eking open from Dan Tomlinson. Series of very unfortunate events there for Adam. He is now under threat from Rapalina, so actually gets a good run out the final turn 5 minutes ago. And in the background also, Charlie Moore gets a good one on Ben Hose. Will stick with this battle just to see if Rapalina can make a move back up into 4th. Back up into 5th position as they try and capitalise from a faulting Adam Benjamin. Can't do it there. However, Charlie Morgan, Ben Holmes side by side going into turn 1. Charlie Morgan gets a move done. As we will just see how that all unfolded. It was in the background. It was. as Charlie Morgan inside line. That was easily moved on. Purple wheeled owned car of Charlie Morgan and moved on Ben Holmes. Nicely done and dusted as Ben Holmes has got a drive-through. As we see, Tomlinson is round on that midfield battle as well. He's now going to drop all the way down to 8th. And let's see what happened to Dan. I do wonder if this was involved. No, lost his curb on the inside. And that was that. All of his own accord, unfortunately, and that's going to cost him positions. Holmes will have to serve that drive-through before the end of the race. There is still time for him to serve the drive-through. He will need to do so to avoid a disqualification. Unfortunately, that will be because of track limits. Pfeiffer's has gone into the pits for one reason or another. Let's just see what that was. I think that was actually a down to the pits. He's had an incident somewhere. But Holmes, pit lane, drive-through. Salt to the wound. It's to forget.
Yeah, it is unfortunately a hard penalty for Holmes to have to serve after having to fight so hard throughout the race so far.
Absolutely. We'll take that drive through like a champ. Watch it dropping it down. Dennis Pfeiffer's has come back out on the circuit. However, he is a lap down. He is having to abide by blue flags. Have faster traffic. Repleen is on the back of Benjamin. This is the fight that was getting quite feisty with Dan Tomlinson before he had that spin, unfortunately. It is now, looks to the inside of Adam, gets a good run up the hill. Please don't make contact on the curbs. They compress into the corner, give each other space. They just about give each other space.
There's a little kiss on the exit there.
It was indeed. They remain side by side, giving each other space. Adam will have the outside line. Actually breaks a little bit late, but the inside line should prevail here for repairs, or not. Adam able to hold a position for now.
Yeah, Replenis had to kill a whole lot of speed in order to get the car turned around to go down the hill in a decent direction. I know he was holding his breath the whole time there because that quickly converges down to a single line for both of those cars.
Need to fight. And notably, score after his spin dropped him down way out of the podium fight. Able to open the gap about 5.7 seconds over this battle, purely because these guys keep on fighting, which you can't blame them. They're fighting for a position, but Jory Store is going to be happy that he's been able to pull out the gap. Outside line, however, for Replenas, he holds it, will be inside, can't hold it here, goes to the over-under, tries to get a better drive out the corner. However, Adam, even though runs a little bit wide, is able to pull away more efficiently and gets the gap he needs to hold position for now.
Yeah, Adam has a very strong run there, taking the outside down to the inside in order to set up for the next corner.
Hang fire for now. Outside line for the place. Tries the over-under, which has worked for him so many times before. It's a fantastic drive out the corner. That's going to give him the position, surely. Indeed it does.
Now he's had to keep all the wheels on the track as they go through these next set of corners up to the corkscrew. It looks like Benjamin is looking to get to the inside here, but Replenis is going to stay very defensive, covering that inside line, going as they dive back down the corkscrew once again.
Need to be careful.
On that back bumper, Benjamin has eked his way back up, and Charlie Morgan has eked his way back into this fight.
Did he has his contact?
Oh! That is a spin. Replenis turns himself around on the nose of Charlie Morgan. I'm assuming not Charlie Morgan.
Of Adam Benjamin. He turns in. There's a car there waiting for him, but unfortunately that car was there just to turn him around of that front nose of Benjamin. I don't think there was any fault between the two. We'll watch the replay. We'll see. Inside line, it just gets turned in. I think maybe Adam could be a bit more closer to the corner potentially. It's a very, very tricky situation as Adam will continue to defend. This is the last lap of the evening for these guys, and Adam will look to defend that fourth position. for essentially best of the rest as it stands, with top three relatively well spread out. Peter Staver holding position in the lead for this
Yeah,
final
but
race this evening.
Benjamin steps out just a little too wide, and Charlie Morgan has room to look at a possible run.
Hugs the inside
Charlie giving
though.
a little breathing room, trying to take the inside here to go up the hill. Deciding better of it to get into the draft to see if he can close up any more.
Indeed.
And Benjamin steps very wide, two wheels onto the sand, but stays legal otherwise.
The outside line, if he can hold it, will be interesting. Meanwhile, very quickly, David is going to come to the line and take the race win for this evening. Congratulations to him. That's the race for Red Sport International. Stick with his teammate Adam Benjamin in the sister car. It's Bolton second. Laura will be third, pending any further post-race penalties. This is your finishing order. However, Adam hugs the inside. Can Charlie get the run? It's going to be a photo finish between the two, side by side as they go to the line. Eking each other along. Is it going to be Charlie Morgan? No, it's not. It's going to be Adam Benjamin by 0.004 of a second.
That is as close as you can get to an end of a race here. That was an impressive defense by Benjamin and Charlie Morgan. And Charlie Morgan did all the right moves to try to get around him there. That decision to try to go for the over-under in that final corner almost paid off for him, but just did not quite get enough drive, and Benjamin had just enough of a solid exit in order to cover off of him. That is an impressive way to end a race tonight.
It's very much so. Your finishing order for this evening for the final race of round 5. Peter Staver in first position to Bottleson to Stora to Benjamin to Morgan. Nothing to separate those two drivers. Tomlinson, Raplines, Holmes, Pipers, Rodriguez. Sadly, Rodriguez had a bit of a torrid race. We've seen him retire, unfortunately, on this occasion. Hopefully seeing him back for the final week next week. And that, folks, is that.
That was a fun race, and it will be exciting for all of this to come to a head on Thanksgiving Day here in the United States.
Yes, it's the final Thursday of November. It's the set date. I don't know. I'm not American. Anyway,
It's the final Thursday of every November.
Yeah, I knew it. I was just testing you. I was testing the
That's
American.
fine.
God damn it!
It's fine. It's fine. It's us celebrating being thankful to not be British anymore. Sorry.
I am sipping my tea.
I will enjoy my turkey.
Anyway, it has been a pleasure to bring you this ultimate round here of the oNiD SimHound Club Car Challenge on iRacing with SimGrid and hosted by SimGrid. Discord.gg's oNiD/oNiD Racing is the Discord link to put into your web browser. Come and say hi to us on Discord. Come and pester us. Come and get signed up and be ready for our Christmas socials. No, not another season coming up for this year. Not enough time. So festive period will be filled with festive one-off races all through the sims that we use here: iRacing, Assetto Corsa, LMU. Doing some fun events to round off period. Thanksgiving next week, and we give thanks to Jarrett as well. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure. One more week to go, my friend. We had a bit of a hiatus last week, but we are now back and ready and raring to go.
Yep, it is good to be back in, but unfortunately, because of the holiday, this will be my last race of the season, but I'll be looking forward to hopefully coming back in the future.
It will be a pleasure to have you. Jarrett, thank you so much. We will bid you adieu. Enjoy your Thanksgiving over across the pond. And folks on Twitch, thank you so much for your viewership. Thank you so much for your support. We will see you all next time, same place next week, for the final round of the oNiD SimHound Club Car Challenge. Don't fear, folks. It is Friday tomorrow. The weekend, not too far away. Good night.
Night.